Hey everybody. Let's see, this is, what day is this? This is Thursday here in California. It's actually Thursday morning at 7:03 in the morning. But I want to kind of give a rundown on overall trip to Thailand. First I wanted to kind of when I left to go to Thailand, I had 8 subscribers, which was just kind of a shock to me that I come back with 156. And that's because some of the YouTubers out there put my name out, put my channel up, and I picked up a lot of people that were willing to watch my channel. And that means a lot to me because I'm not doing this to make money. I'm doing this because I enjoy what I do and I enjoy where I go and some of the things I do. And, I just like to share it with people. So having said that, for all the new people, I want to kind of give a rundown on who I am and what I'm about. I was married 42 years. I had a great job. I retired in 2014. We used to do trips to the beach, do a lot of camping on the beach because it was fairly cheap for us to do that. And 2014, we had been going to Mexico, we'd been doing a lot of trips. So we retired, went with the whole family, all the kids, grandkids, everything. We went down to Mexico, had a great time. 2018, October, my wife was diagnosed with cancer, did the whole battle, went through the whole thing of chemo, radiation. Day after Mother's Day, 2019, unfortunately, she couldn't breathe, had to call 911. Put her in the hospital. She spent 51 days in the hospital. And then I got to bring her home for the last 21 days of her life to the house that she built and designed. And she got to enjoy her remaining time here. So that's pretty much a little bit about me. And I appreciate everybody that's following the channel. How I ended up picking Thailand. March of 2020, I decided it was time for me to do a trip. And naturally, you get online, you start looking at everything, but what happens? The whole world shuts down. The pandemic comes. So I got on YouTube and I started looking. I started with Bali. A friend of my son's used to do surfing trips down there. I looked at Malaysia. I got up to the Philippines. I started following Paul in the Philippines, Old Dog New Tricks, and the Filipina P, who gives out excellent information on their channels. Then I started looking at Thailand, and I started stumbling across some of the YouTubers. Now, who I found first, I can't say. I don't know. I know I found Dan and Kees One in Bangkok. I found the Chocolate Man in Thailand, James Casino, and Pattaya. Chuck and Paige with No Time to Be Sad. Thai Girl Gift and Foreigner Joe, which I followed and didn't know that they all knew each other until they happened to do a trip together. And it was interesting to watch different versions of what everybody was looking at. Chuck might be doing this, and Joe and Gift might be focusing on this, and James and Fa would be focusing on something else. And it was interesting. It really was. So I decided I was going to go to Thailand. Now, take somebody at my age that had never traveled alone in 50 years. I was out of my comfort zone. I will tell you that. I was way out of my comfort zone. I didn't know whether I could do it. I didn't know how well I could do it. Would I get myself in trouble? But I went ahead and did. And I've been back about 4 days now, kind of looking a little retrospect on things, on how it went. Yeah, I made mistakes. Like I said in one of the videos, I forgot my contacts. I had to abort the southern part of the country trip to come back up to Pattaya or to Bangkok and try to get contacts. Then I had a few money issues with the ATM not working. But all in all, what a great trip. What can I say about Thailand? I think Thailand gets a bad rap because a lot of people look at it as, ooh, it's all about the bars and the go-go's and the sex and all of that, which is not true. That is just a small portion of what goes on in that country. That would be like judging the United States on what goes on Hollywood Boulevard to South Beach in Florida, to the Bronx and the boroughs of New York or Times Square. That's not what this country is about, and that's not what Thailand is about. Thailand has got some beautiful scenery to see. Unfortunately, some of it I did not get to see, and that disappointed me. So actually, before I got back here, sitting in the hotel room in Bangkok, before I left on the airplane, I was already on the internet looking at return trips. When I wanted to go, what would be the good time for me to travel. So I will return to Thailand. I really will. I felt that was, I missed so much, but I learned a lot. I learned so much. I learned about some of the culture, watching some of the Thais and how they went about their daily life. You take the people down on Beach Road that set up all the beach chairs and all the umbrellas and do that work every day. Every day they thrive off of what kind of tourism that they can get and what kind of money they can make. And they're not making a lot of money. So when it came to me, I really didn't have a budget when I went. I didn't really worry about it. I was going to spend whatever I wanted to spend and how I wanted to spend it. So yeah, I tipped a lot. What's a couple baht here, 20 or 40 or, whatever baht here. If I bought something, there was 40 baht left over, I would just pass it on to the waitress who was handling me. Or if I was riding in a Bolt and it was 78 baht, well, instead of I'd give them 100 and tell them keep it. That little bit didn't matter to me. It helped them a lot because a lot of them didn't make a lot of money. So when I titled this whole trip, I titled this as My Greatest Adventure and the World is Open. Which it was, and it is, and it's getting open more and more. More countries are dropping. I understand the Philippines have just dropped some of their mandates for getting in there. I don't know. I know Japan, when I came through there, they were still wanting quarantine on non-vaccinated people. So, that'll change, and don't quote me on anything because I'm not 100% sure. All I could do is go by what I heard over the announcement on the airplane coming back. So I will give you a little bit of a rundown on how my whole trip went. When I scheduled the trip to Thailand, I started looking at airlines. I was looking what everybody else was using as far as airlines. And I ended up using ANA, which is All Nippon Airlines. They are ranked, according to one website, they are ranked in the top 5 for service, performance, and anything else. When I first got on when I made the reservations, my kids got a little upset, said, "Dad, you can afford it. Why don't you fly first class?" Well, I'm actually glad I didn't fly first class because when I walked through there, I didn't really care for those things that they were sitting in, and yeah, you could lay down and all, but forget it. Well, let's put it this way. I was 6'1", but the last time the doctors measured me, I think I shrunk about an inch. So I'm 6 foot, but I had plenty of leg room. I could stretch my legs out in front of me. I wasn't cramped. I made sure that I had an aisle seat where I could kind of stretch out one leg if I needed to all the way. But, they serve you, well, it was about a 12-hour flight, 11.5-hour flight across to Japan. They serve you 2 meals. By the time I got to Japan, I had a 2-hour layover. So by the time I got off, got situated, we were boarding and back in about an hour to get back on the plane to go down to Thailand. So it was real quick. I know some people would say, "Oh, you could have got it cheaper." Yeah, I paid $12.34 round trip, US dollars. I did not go through one of the Cheap Air or Expedia or any of that. I dealt directly with the airlines because I wanted to make sure I got what I wanted. Yeah, if I had flown the red eye, left LAX at midnight, I wouldn't have got in there till like Tuesday. I'd had 2 stops. Yeah, I might have saved a couple $100, maybe $300 at the most, but I didn't want that because that meant the person that was taking me to the LAX would have had to be out there at midnight, drop me off, get home, you know, and their situation going to work on Monday morning. So I picked the easiest flight for them and myself. And that was no problem, you know, like I said, I'm not really on a budget when it comes to things like that. I look at my comfort, what's good for me. So anyway, we get to Japan, change over, jump on the next plane. We're out of there. They're going to serve me another meal. And I'm going, I can't eat anymore, you know, I'll skip this meal. And got into Bangkok. No problem. You know, they checked my passport. They asked me if I had, how long I was staying. I showed them my itinerary with the return flight, you know, 28 days later. They were happy with that. They gave me a 30-day visa stamp. And when I booked all this, that was what you could stay. You could stay 30 days. Yeah, you could have probably done a run to the border or whatever and work, you know. But, you know, that was happy for me. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know whether I was going to enjoy it. Now I wished I had, you know, done something a little different, which I might do the next time. Right after that, they kicked out the visa up to 45 days. So, and I'm not sure, don't quote me on this, I'm not sure whether you can go 60 days now or not. I'll have to look at that when I decide to go back. Once I got through the airport situation, you know, baggage and everything, I went over and I did cash out some money so I could get some baht because I went over to AIS and I had a iPhone 8 that I had a SIM card put in. It gave me a phone number, a Thai phone number, and I had plenty of access to use for 30 days. No problems there. Came out of the airport and it was like, oh hell, how am I gonna get to the airport? Well, there's a shitload of taxis, right? So I go over to one and all he did was, he pointed, you gotta go that way, you gotta go that way. Okay. So I drag everything up that direction, you know. Well, there's 2 lines when you come out to the taxis. One is a short and the other is long travel. So I went up to the booth and I tried to explain to them what hotel I was staying at. And they were having kind of a struggle trying to figure out what I meant. I showed them a picture of it. Well, it happened to be one of the taxi drivers right there and he knew where it was and where I wanted to go. So they got me over to the hotel, no problem, got in, crashed out for, well, that was what, midnight, a little after 12:30 in the morning when I got there. So I paid that night and one more night to rest up. And in the meantime, I put the Bolt app on my phone, which is kind of like an Uber or Lyft here in the United States. Hot-footed it down to Pattaya. You know, I checked in at the Amber Hotel, nice hotel right there off of Soi Buakhao, right in the heart of everything. You can walk to anything you wanted to. Did a few days there, went over to Jontium Beach, stayed over there at the Sea Breeze. Now the Sea Breeze didn't fit too well with me. I didn't really, I don't know. It just didn't work for me. But I met everybody up at the Wombat and Kiwi Bar for the YouTuber meetup, which was great. You got to meet some of these people that I've been following online, and they are exactly what you see. There's no what's the word, phonyism? I don't know. They're not fake. They're exactly what you see on YouTube as they are in person. You know, I met James, I met Q, I met Mike and Nicole, I met Mitch and Dow. Oh, I think the women were gonna kill me because Dow was beautiful. I might have made a dopey butthead out of myself, but yeah, she's very, very pretty lady. Mitch is a very lucky man to find somebody like her. And after that, you know, I went back up Bangkok, you know, used Bolt to get back up to Bangkok, had reservations with AirAsia. Now AirAsia is like here in the States, you're flying one of these small Southwest planes. You know, my knees were right up against the seats. They really didn't give anything away free, you know, like drinks and stuff. You had to buy them, but it was only an hour and maybe an hour and 15-minute flight down to Phuket. Get down to Phuket, call up my Bolt driver. Unfortunately, they charge them to come in. They'll charge them 2,000 baht if they got to come in and pick up a customer. So he goes, well, I'm out on the main road. Well, how the hell do I find the main road? Okay, so I got the phone and I'm I go that way through the parking lot. I go, that way through the parking lot, because I followed the blue line that he would have come in on. And I get out there and he calls me, he goes, you in the blue shirt? I go, yeah, and he's standing over there waving the phone at me. Okay, I got you. So, I got down to Patong Beach, stayed there at the hotel, had a great time there, and that's when I realized I didn't have my contacts. Went over to one of the local optical places. Like I said in the previous video, they couldn't help me. They couldn't guarantee that they could get it within a week. So I had already had reservations at another place. So I went over and stayed there for a few days. And then I went back up to Bangkok and then back down to Pattaya, and that's where I ended up staying for the next 2 weeks, which turned out pretty good. I had planned on making a trip up to Bangkok for a couple days and maybe stay at one of the hotels up there just so I could go up and see it, but then I ran into the situation with my ATM, which I really didn't need. I had money, but I just wanted to make sure it worked, and then when it didn't want to work, I kind of, okay, I got to figure something out here. I ended up getting a cash advance on my credit card. Woo! I think I got charged, I got 20,000 baht, which was $527. And I think I got charged somewhere in the range between the two fees, $41. Okay, I'm gonna work on changing my bank and to get this to work out before I go again. Really had a really good time. I did go over to Jatiam and stayed one night in a hotel over there and went over and had some seafood, which was really good. There's just so much going on. There was a lot of times I would just, like I ate at one of the burger places right there on Soi Buakhao. It's Prime Burger. Oh, excellent burger, excellent. The Paris burger was excellent. But you could sit there either inside in the air conditioning, or you could sit outside with all the noise and the racket and the commotion and just watch. And just to watch what goes on. The traffic can be really something to see. I don't know how they do it, but they make this work. I have yet to see anybody run into each other or cause a problem. They just make it work. They make it work. I don't know how they do it, but they make it work. Had some weather. I got to see some of the street flooding. It flooded up almost to where the entrance to the hotel was that I was staying at. But it dissipates pretty quick. Within a couple hours, maybe 2-3 hours, all that water was gone after the rain quit. So my opinion on that area, that's a great place to stay if you're somebody that wants to go, just spend your time in the bars and maybe go to the Go-Go's and walking down through some of the places at night was kind of interesting. Like I said, I got one pulling this shirt this way and one pulling this shirt this way, trying to get me to go inside. And it was fun, And like I joked back about the days when women's lib started and they were all upset about the construction workers, Wolf whistling at them, hey baby, all this stuff. Well, that's what you get when you walk down through there. But they're not looking at my body, this ravishing body of mine, which I don't know what happened to it over the years, but they're looking at how fat my wallet is and maybe how much money they can get out of it, which is okay. That's part of it. Some of the places I'd walk down Macau, I'd cross the street over this way and walk back and come back, because some of them were pretty aggressive. I had one trying to tackle me low and another one trying to catch me high, but it was fun. It was different. It's something that you don't see every day. But it gets, I don't know, does it get under your skin? Does it get in your blood? Is it something that you want to? I mean, there are so many places now that I want to go see that I didn't get to see. I didn't get to see the islands. There's places that some of the YouTubers went that I could have swore they were on the islands, but they were actually in this huge lake. It was like a reservoir somewhere that they were staying off of. I'd have to go back and look at it to see exactly where they were at. I'd like to go up to Chiang Mai. Maybe Udon. Maybe if I had a chance, and if Chuck and Paige were you know, with no time to be sad, happened to be at home, maybe I could stop up there, maybe buy them dinner or stuff with all the information that they passed on. There's just so much to see in that country. You know, that's like trying to see the United States, and I did 30, what'd we do? We did 7,900 miles in 31 days, covered, what, 22 states, the District of Columbia, and Canada. And we were pushing, but we stayed, some places we stayed in the United States, we were staying 3-4 days, you know. But yeah, you gotta, maybe next time I go, I'll go for 60 days, which wouldn't put me pressed for time. I felt a little rushed for time, and then when things kind of went south, then I just kind of like, I kind of threw up my hands and said, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'd use Pattaya as my base and try to work my way out and go see different things, which I tried. But all in all, if you're thinking about going, do it, do it. If you have doubts about how comfortable you'll be, you can get through it. You just take it as it comes, kind of let it, you know, like a duck with water rolling off its back, you make it work, you know? And people will help you. I had no issues with talking to people. I had one of the security guards that I talked to at the hotel all the time. He was always joking because I'd go out walking and I do a lot of walking. He says, "Oh, are you eating today?" I says, "Oh, not right now," you know, and I'm telling him I'm going for a while. "Oh, okay," you know, and when I come back, he'd go, "How far did you walk?" You know, and I'd show him my phone. And I had a little issue with some of the Bolt drivers trying to find how to get into where the Amber Hotel is, because it kind of sits back on a back road, which there's a road that comes down to the backside, and that's where they always seem to end up. So one day I was out there and the guy calls me, "Where are you?" I'm here. Where's this hotel?" And I handed the phone to the security guard, and he rattles off to the guy, and then he talks to him some more, and he talks to him some more, and finally he hangs up and he goes, "What a dummy." So, you know, but you can use Translate, you know, just keep it short, keep it simple. I went into a pharmacy, I wanted to get some peroxide, so I looked up on the internet, I took a picture of what the peroxide looked like in Thai, held it up to her, and she goes, "Oh, it's right over here." She gets it, and I bought a little bottle of it because I had a blister on one of my feet from the wet flip-flops from walking in the rain. But other than that, you know, what a great place. Some people may not like it, but I enjoyed it. I really did. Till next time, thank you for all my new subscribers. Thank you to all the YouTubers that made this happen for me. And I shall return. I shall come back to Thailand. Maybe in May, who knows? Bye.